Hello, it's been a while when it comes to figure reviews, genuine ones. I'm not doing what I did with the Joker video this time, so sorry. Uh, you guys really seem to like when I look at Doctor Who figures, and over the last couple of years, the releases have become less and less. Well, they've just become less. However, recently, the 12th Doctor got a 5-inch release. So, without further ado, and with my hands reflected in the packaging, we're going to take a quickie peek. You'll notice that there are 3 versions of this little monkey. Like over here, oh gosh, the stand is, 1 second, oh dear. Over here we got the white shirted one, probably the most controversial of the figure releases, because everyone's like, why not just make him as he actually looks? But apparently that's how he looked in a flashback at the beginning of The Caretaker, so that's what we have to just accept. Then there is the polka dot shirt, which I think is also from The Caretaker, I might be wrong. Very spotty in the action figure version, but not too shabby. And then we have the most recent release, came out within the last week, purple shirt, Robot of Sherwood version. At Forbidden Planet, these guys are retailing for $14.99, which is pretty cheap for what you would consider a collector's series, as these are being dubbed. 5-inch collector series. So before I open them, I'm going to very quickly, once I've adjusted my little camera, I should have just done this handheld, shouldn't I? Like a found footage movie set in Toys R Us. Let's have a quick look at the back of the packaging. The back of each packaging features the Doctor who's in that packaging. And it says, 12th Doctor, 11th Doctor, something about great it's so funny. I've lived for over 2,000 years and I'm not very happy about it. So without further ado, let's have a little gander at the 3 versions of the 12th Doctor. Here they are, the 3 little beauties, or, well, you can decide if they're beautiful or not. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because due to the decent price of the 3, like $14.99 for a collector's figure, something we thought was going to be a lot more expensive, I picked up all 3 and decided to let you guys have a little look at them. If you're still sort of choosing which one you'd want to buy, here's your chance to size them all up. So, because effectively, this is my first bad point about these figures. It's the same figure. It's the exact same figure, repackaged 3 times with a different paint scheme. Now, that's not to say they've skimped on detail. As you can see, each shirt, let's say, different colour, but then the respective cuffs have been painted the appropriate colour. So it's not like they've just whacked a torso on it. Every single one has got things made for that figure. But it is still ultimately Doctor in shirt, and that's why it's a little bit disappointing, because if we go to the 5-inch, we go from the 5-inch range to the 3-inch range. This is the Capaldi that came out sort of end of last year, start of this year. This is the little one. This is clearly the one they've based it off of. It's the exact same sculpt, but obviously in the 5-inch scale it's a little more detailed, but still the same bloody sculpt of man that doesn't quite look like Peter Capaldi, suspiciously a little bit like Stephen Moffat. But it's the same sculpt. The only difference is this one doesn't have the red in the coat. These guys, to answer the question of a few people, have fixed that. Huzzah. But obviously the distinct difference is the waistcoat. He's got the Cardi, the waistcoat design on there in the sculpt. And they didn't bother with that with the big one. And that's obviously because he only has that in one variation of his outfit. So plain shirt, you can make 3 variants, but that limits you to ones with shirts on. So no jumper with the holes in, no hoodie from last Christmas. But let's talk about the sculpt again. Let's bring you closer, little boy. No little luggage of yours. That doesn't look entirely like Peter Capaldi. Now, if we go to the 3-inch series again, this is the Time of the Doctor / Deep Breath Capaldi. That doesn't much look like Peter Capaldi either. But they both have elements. They're both kind of there. And this guy got an enlargement in the Time of the Doctor set. This is the alternate head for that figure, which is a Capaldi. That looks a little more Capaldi. And they look like completely different people. So it's like they haven't quite decided what head they want to go with. Now, having 3 of these, it's tempting me to finally do something I've never done, which is customise and maybe pop his head off, get him a cardigan, and give him this. Just to see if it'll look any better, but who knows. Now, the basics are, you got your Peter Capullo, and he's got little Sonic. The Sonic screwdriver is Very different this time around from the previous versions. Oh, look at that, eh? It's a closed Sonic. We've never had a closed Sonic before. And if I, oh, hello. And if I accidentally knock everything over. If I'm able to grab a Sonic from the previous 11th Doctor releases, you'll notice, not right away, but you'll notice, there is a shift in scale. Made from different materials as well. These are obviously made, like the older ones are a little rubbery. These ones are made from a harder plastic. A lot better painted, like as you would expect really from a collector's series. And it puts these to shame, really. They look awful now in comparison. It makes you wonder what they've been doing all this time. But yeah, Capaldi is well. Let's take a bigger look. So aside from the scary old man face, let's take a look at the posability. He's got a slightly better range of movement than the older 5-inch figures because I started putting in swishes on the boots, which are really pleasantly shiny. The red in the coat. He's got the waist swivel, the hip one. This arm rotates out on a ball joint, and that arm rotates out on a ball joint. You've got wrist swivel, head turns. Could probably turn the full way, but I don't really want to risk it. And yeah, I mean, you can sort of do that with him. Oh, he looks so nice, doesn't he? Hey? Oh, look at his ways. I've told Curiosity I've just popped his head off and replaced, there it is, and replaced it with the one from the Time of the Doctor set. And it goes to show something that I noticed with these figures. On the packaging, it says 5.5-inch collector series, but previously all the characters were in 5-inch, was what they've been referred to. So I'm wondering, with the increased size of the Sonic, have they increased the scale? Colin Baker is a tall man. That Doctor is much taller than that Doctor. So it looks like they've upped the scale a bit, which is a little annoying. Not too noticeable, considering how sparse the figure releases are now, but it also means that having the spare head from the Matt Smith figure, it looks a little bit like a pea head. It's a tiny head in comparison. So I think I'm probably going to switch that back. So I suppose the final question is, which one's worth buying, if any at all? I would say if you're a completionist like me, and you're an absolute nutter, and you've got various collections of all the Doctors, I mean, here we go, just warm, over on this shelf alone, you've got a bunch of Doctors there. It's definitely worth grabbing one of these guys, because otherwise you're stuck with your 3-inch scale one. However, I personally wouldn't go for this one, because the lack of cardigan sort of just it doesn't suit him. It looks daft. That is not how you picture the 12th Doctor. The spotted shirt might be my favourite in terms of my recommendations for you for which one to get, because the contrast with the flash of red, the fact that it sort of looks like he's killing another one. Now, the fact it sort of looks like there's actually something going on with the costume. They're all drunk. The fact that it looks like there's something actually going on with the costume sort of makes it a winner. This is a close second, and the purple shirt is very nice. This one seems to be more limited run. It's just come out into Forbidden Planets. The rumour was originally it was going to be Toys R Us, but I guess it's Forbidden Planets. So get that one if you can. But my personal recommendation is this bad boy. This one's much better than the others. However, I've got to say, overall, if I had to give a score, say, out of 5, it's a 3.5. Great articulation, really nice detail on the costume, but the sculpt looks not too much like Peter Capaldi. And especially now, how he looks now with the bigger hair and the hoodie and everything, it's a very, very different appearance from a Doctor whose look still seems to be changing. So go for it. Try and get him if you can. If not, he's a close second. Customizers, get hold of this and work your magic. And yeah, hopefully I've helped you decide a little bit more about which 12th Doctor to pick up. So, tatty bye, my dears, and sweet dreams. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Thanks for watching, please come again. If you subscribe, I'll be your friend. But not really, because that'd be weird.